morning, pre-K friends. It's time for some math this morning. The work I'm doing today is not in your packet, so you'll have to politely ask Mom and Dad if they can get some papers ready for you. Don't forget to use your manners because that's the polite thing to do. You will want to ask them to get a paper ready for you that says short and tall and some different size papers also. We're going to line them up from the shortest to the tallest. We're going to practice lining up from short to tall, and hopefully at the end we'll have some time to measure some of them with some non-standard units of measurements. I have some cool little waffle blocks today that we can measure with. So we're going to line all of our papers up from the shortest to the tallest. The first thing I need to do is line my papers up on the bottom. It's very important that they all line up on the bottom so that I make sure that they're all the same height. That's how tall they are. So I'm going to move my papers here like this, and I'm going to try to make sure that on all of these rectangles, the bottoms line up nicely. There. Oh, you can't see my yellow one over here, so I'm going to move that one out of the way. There. And they're all lined up very nicely along the bottom. It's very important when you're measuring. You can't measure unless things are lined up nicely. You don't get a good idea of whether or not something is short or tall. So try to make sure you take an extra second to make sure they're lined up very nicely on the bottom. Then we're going to take our papers and we're going to start on this side with the shortest. I wonder if I can keep this one here. No, you're right. When I look at it, that one is really the longest one. What I'm looking for is the shortest one, the one that is shorter than all the rest. And if I look carefully, I can see that that orange one, well, that one's pretty short. So I'm going to move this pink one out of the way. I'm going to move this orange one all the way over here. Now, which one do you think is the shortest? Well, that's bigger than the green one. The green one's bigger than the pink. This blue is bigger than the pink. This pink is bigger than that one. So I think this is the next one. Let me line it up and let's see. Uh-oh, it doesn't look taller than the orange one. Oh, that's right. Silly me, I forgot to line it up on the bottom. Now it is lined up very nicely on the bottom. Now let's find our next shortest one. Let's see, I wonder which one I should put next. Let me make sure they're lined up on the bottom. Can you see which one out of these is the shortest? You're right, the green one. Good job. So I will line that one up there. I have 3 more left to put in order. Is it the blue, the teal, or the bright pink? Yeah, my eyes can see that this one is shorter than the blue or the teal or the bright pink. So I'm going to move this one over here, making sure to line it up. I have 2 left. One is really tall and one is not. So if I'm lining up from shortest to tallest, it kind of looks like stairs. Each one gets bigger as I go along. So if I'm looking for the pattern that each one gets bigger as I go along, should this one be shorter? No, that's silly. We'll move that blue one over. Is it looking good so far? I think so too. And I'm going to put my last one here. And there we go. I just lined up all of my papers from shortest to tallest. I went from short all the way up to tall. Each one gets bigger as I go along. If I wanted to do it differently, I could go from tallest to shortest, and I would just put my papers in the other direction. I would start with the biggest on one side and end up with the shortest. That's kind of like you're going down the stairs if you're going to go from tall to short. But today we're doing short to tall. So if you can do one of these papers at home and put a picture in the comments, that would be really nice. That would make my heart smile today. I will make sure to check to see if you have a chance to get to do it. Well, we've been measuring non-standard units of measurement. So I brought these cool blocks today. I happen to have these home today. So I was going to use these blocks to measure how many blocks tall each of my line is. I have to do the same thing. I have to start at the bottom and I have to measure up and I have to count. I'm going to start here with this one. Help me count. It stops right here. So it stops with this block. Let's count how many blocks tall. 1, 2, 3. That is 3 blocks tall. Around the tree and around the tree. That's the way we make a 3. Now I'm going to move over to my pink one. Remember, non-standard units of measurement are when you use something you wouldn't normally use to measure something. I wouldn't normally measure something with how many blocks tall it is, but when you're first learning how to measure, it's much more fun to measure that way. Let's count how many blocks tall our pink one is. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to make a number 4. I'm going to skip all the way over to this blue one now. Let's measure how tall this blue one is. Oh, I have just enough blocks. Help me count, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 blocks tall. Make an S. Do not wait. Go back up to make an 8. I'm going to measure the rest of these later when the camera's not on, and I'll put a picture in the comments for you to see. I'd like you to do the same thing. Have a great day, boys and girls.